What's up, boys? Welcome back to another podcast. I don't know what I'm calling this thing. I might call it Podcast with an Old Friend. I don't know. I don't know yet. But yeah, this is the second episode with an old friend that I've known for a long time. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Dude, that's me.
That's you. That's you.
That's me, man.
Introduce yourself.
Shit. Uh,
You can call yourself whatever. I don't care.
yeah, it's pretty thick boy Adrian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty thick boy Adrian. We got pretty thick
straight
boy
from
Adrian.
straight from the 206 gang.
Straight from the 206 gang. Let's go.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, okay. I'm Adrian. Ryan knows me as Bull. That's how he met me at least.
Yes, that's why there's a
Now,
big bull on screen.
now I'm the OnlyFans fiend. Hell yeah, dude. There's not much. I don't know, fucking where to start. I mean, we met on GTA.
Yeah, we did.
Saw these kids in a GTA Online session. That was pretty, and they were kind of fucking noobish, and I decided to fuck around with them.
That is not
And
exactly how it happened. No, this is how it happened. If you don't remember, so I met Kiwi. No, I think, yeah, I met Kiwi. I was playing with someone. I forget the name, but yeah, and then Kiwi introduced me to Amberios, or no, Abe's. No, Amberios. So, Amberios, his name is Angelo. So, yeah, we met through him. You knew MB first, right?
met him the same way as everybody else, just a GTA Online session. I think I was flying a Buzzard, just driving around, or a Hydra. Then I saw them. Like, I remember where we met. It was over by the parking garage by the Maze Bank.
Dude, what MB?
Yeah, I was flying around and think they were getting blown up by a fucking rhino. And I blew up the rhino and I was just hovering over them because when I was I used to be something called the tryhard on GTA, and I played GTA competitively a lot.
You wanna explain what being a tryhard means in GTA speaking?
A tryhard in GTA is, so to speak, is they're the competitive players. You know, they play PvP, so to speak, not as in the racing, not as in, you know, the fucking golf or tennis.
Yeah.
They're the ones. they're the competitive players who will go basically out of the way. There's different levels. There's a spectrum to a tryhard, and there's the griefer. They used to be known as griefers, but then they were given a name, and that was tryhards. And these guys would kill anybody and anything that moved in their sight. That's what a tryhard was, and that's why they earned the name, because they try way too fucking hard at PvP. They didn't.
Right.
Basically KD warriors, because they didn't want to die, so they killed themselves. They didn't want to lose, so they'd either leave the game and reset the score, because on Grand Theft Auto Online, when you kill somebody, it would show a score. And whoever had the most points on top of the other one was the better player, obviously, but tryhards didn't want it to be that way because they were KD warriors once again.
Yeah. It's yeah, I used to be a little bit of a tryhard myself, huh?
Yeah, you're a big fucking tryhard.
Yeah,
you're a big tryhard.
I never got as good as you, though.
I mean, respectively, I think, like we were talking yesterday, I think I have around nearly 2 years in the game, like days played, 616 days, I think, was it, into the game played.
14,000 hours.
Yeah, around 14,000 hours. So I just had a lot of experience into the game, so I knew the mechanics really well. You know, what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to the point where I actually played GTA competitively, and not as in the sense of a tryhard where I would kill people in free mode, but I would actually compete in skirms and tourneys and all that in TDMs or in free mode.
Right.
And I used to play a lot. So by then, by the time I met you guys, I probably had at least a year on top of you guys, an experience that. But you you caught up pretty well. You caught up pretty fast. I remember when I met you guys, and I would see you guys were honestly, if I'm completely honest, man, our friend group, you, Joseph, Dr. Diamond, his name is, and Barrios, Kiwi, Ethan. You guys were noobs, and you guys were getting shit on by players that like me that would go out of the way just to fucking kill you guys for no reason.
Yeah, and also
So I'm like,
because we looked like pretty fucking fake tryhards. Like,
yeah.
yeah. So it makes sense.
So it was at that point where I was like, hey, you guys want to learn how to play like me, and that's where it began. That's where you guys' little tryhard journey began.
Yeah.
It was fun, but it was also annoying to well, some of the other people in our friend group didn't like it because that's when we all sort of marginalized into different, I want to say, skill groups. Some of them were better, some of them were worse.
Yeah, and it also created divides in between the friend group. Like people were bringing the friend group like started to be smaller and smaller, if that makes sense. Because like, I mean, there was some like jumpers, if that makes sense. Like Kiwi would come hang out with us sometimes or go hang out with Ethan, but we would really never hang out with Ethan, or you know.
Yeah, Ethan was I'd say Ethan and Kiwi Tankin were one of the first that jumped because
Yeah.
it became the friend became divided, and that's just because simply put, it's
Skill
just
gap.
straightforward. There was a skill gap, and other players were, other people of the friend group were better than others.
And I would say
And
it would, I feel like me, you, and MB, and Barrios, were the top of the friend group, I would say.
yeah, we were at the top of the friend group, but it didn't stay like that for a long time until Dr. Diamond and Darkness Steve became better than MB. And as soon as M Barrios, noticed that he was not able to keep up with us, that's when he jumped and stopped playing with us. After that, we didn't hear from MB for months because he would play a game called Warframe because he
Yeah.
thought GTA was getting too sweaty for him, or he said that was his reasoning, but the
I
real
just
reason was
I don't think
he
he
was
could
just
keep
bad.
up with,
He
you
just
know.
couldn't. He just couldn't keep up, and that's all it really was. And that's where the divide of our friend or everyone's friends, the friend group started happening.
Yeah. Uh, I feel like me, you, and Kiwi are the only ones that really kept in contact with each other. And
Kiwi
that
for me not so.
not
Kiwi
so
for me
much,
not
yeah.
so much. Not so much because Kiwi really didn't like me because he also thought he was like above us all. It realistically it wasn't that way. If I'm completely honest, no cocky shit, but it wasn't like that at all. And that's when Kiwi started hanging out with someone named Ethan. And Ethan, whenever they would see, whether it be me, you, or anyone else of a friend group, would try to come after us in GTA sessions.
Yeah.
It never really worked out, even if they tried picking us off one by one. But
Yeah.
they would still they're better.
I could think of multiple times where they went out of their way to go into their friends and join my session just to come fuck with me.
Yeah, I remember a lot of times like that where it never really happened that much to me. It did happen every once in a while to me, but
Cause you would always be offline, like appear offline.
yeah, I was always appearing offline, and I was the reasoning for that was when I was competitive, when I was like really competitive and into the competitive scene, I would often get threats for DDoSing. What it means to be DDoSed is to set a lot of packets, network packets to your router, overstressing it. So when something like your router gets overstressed, it shuts off and doesn't no longer works for a certain amount of time. And I would often get threats like those, or a lot of people join my sessions solely for the purpose of just trying to come after me. And honestly, I wasn't gonna have that.
Yeah. And
It was
wouldn't you say there's also like tiers of like certain like tryhards that are good at certain things? Like there's the beach players, which basically means like all they do is like snipe and stuff like that. And then there's base and then RNG. Don't explain what like the tiers like that.
There's 100%. There was a spectrum to the tiers and types of tryhards. There was there was the fighter jet. There's the forgot they were called dog fighters. That's what they were called. There was the dog fighters, and these guys, the most early iteration of the tryhard was the city one. And what that was honestly just using pure explosives. I mean, if you're completely honest with yourself, dodging a missile isn't that simple. It's really, unless you know how to do it, it's not easy at all. That
Right.
was the earliest iteration of the tryhard. And then it started with ARs, the AR players, and they would meet up over by the airport and just shoot at each other with assault rifles. From
Yeah.
that, from ARs players was born the RNG map. What the RNG map stands for is run and gun, and you would just run around a map, a small quarters map, using assault rifles only. And that's where really the branching of tryhards began, because from that was born specific players, and that was the dogfighters, ARs, RNG, and Beach. Beach was also one of the early iterations of a tryhard. What they would do is just snipe, and these guys were basically good at their own thing, and everyone was good at their own thing. Some players were good at it all, and they could do it all. They could fly jets, they could fly, they could do. Were good at assault rifles, they could snipe. Some of them were good, but these guys weren't that common.
Right.
Um, me for instance, I'm not that good at flying. I got it down, but compared to some of the stuff that other players could do at the time, I wasn't on their level. But I would just either shoot them out of the jet or snipe them, which was honestly the easier thing to do instead of actually getting a jet. Because if I got a jet, I was never going to take them out.
Right.
And then
And yeah.
it wasn't until maybe a year or so after that the base players were born, and these guys were honestly the sweatiest of them all, and because these guys were more than likely founders, or I'd say the early versions of tryhards, which were city, and they would just use rocket explosives, and because it was the easiest thing to get kills with. And this was also around the same time that the EWO glitch was found out. What EWO means is the easy way out, and there was an exploit that if you hold the interaction menu and then press the easy way out, you could kill yourself instantaneously while shooting the rocket. And what that would do means you killed yourself, they can't kill you, but you could get the kill on them. It's
Yeah.
a self-defense mechanism. It was a good strategy, annoying to fight, but it was very effective.
Yeah. And I would say especially my weak point would be most likely RNG. I was okay at. I was decent at. There was obviously a lot of people that were a lot better than me, but I would have to say base. Using explosives, grenade launchers, LMGs. It was definitely my weakest point.
Man, I would yeah, you were when you were playing it, you did a lot of sniping at the time, but a lot of that went into being a tryhard is having an abundance of money. And the only way you
Yeah.
could really have this abundance of money was through a modded account. If you had legit money, it was really hard to earn that money. And the five as a I was really good at base, and when you use that much explosive and that much in that short amount of span of time, you're wasting maybe in a 5 minute 1v1, you're probably wasting nearly roughly $75,000, which is hard enough to earn in a game like Grand Theft Auto because everything is so damn expensive.
Yeah. And GTA that GTA era of my I don't know, like gaming career, I would say. I don't know. Um I lost a lot of accounts. A lot. I probably lost the most accounts out of the friend group. I lost so many.
I would have to say you're right, because you played with GTA with me the most. We played GTA a lot,
Yeah.
and so whenever I brought you into my lobbies, there was bound to be one hacker or DDoS, or there's bound to be at least one. There was always one,
Yeah.
and for some reason, you were always hit. Like I was never hit, thankfully, because I had a VPN system and I dabbled in some, well, so to speak, hacking. So I knew how to defend myself against all these attacks, but not everyone knows how to defend themselves, and you're the one that suffered the most out of that because you didn't know how to defend yourself against someone getting past your two-step or anything like that, or DDoS, or
Definitely, definitely.
all those kinds of cyber attacks.
Yeah. I lost my first account, which was called Mr. Piggy. And then I lost and then I lost this other account. I forget what it was called. It was like called King something. Or no. It was fake barcode account. So fake barcode's kind of like, you know, the L's and I's, but it had a
Yeah.
dash at the end. I bought that for $80. Had I don't even want to say the number, how much money it had. $70 million. 80 it was like $80 for $70 million. And then I lost that because I gave it to someone like an idiot. And then I had someone let me borrow an account called Astro something. I forget. Astro something.
Yeah, I remember Astro.
Yeah. I used that for a long time. I think it was the guy that actually stole my account, let me use it. I'm not sure. And then I used one called King something that also I went through. And then I made a new account called Acid Settings. And
Yeah.
starting from scratch in GTA is extremely difficult. And especially being a tryhard. Especially being a tryhard and like with going against people that have all these guns that you don't have and having no money, it was very difficult. And then so the solution to this, I was like, okay, everyone's stealing my account. Let me steal one of my friends' accounts. Because a little bitch. And I stole this one account called I'm Not Kimmy. And I used that account for the next, 2 years? Something like that?
Yeah, it was about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I'm Not Kimmy. Then you had I Will Body You. And that was it was like a loop. You guys took it back, got it back, and then it was vice versa.
Oh my god, holy shit. I forget how I even got that account. I think I stole it off someone.
Yeah, he just let you have it. You said you just wanted to trade. And you used one of the screenshots from one of my old accounts, and he bought it, and he took it, and he bought into it, and you took it off of him.
Holy fuck, I forget I Will Body You. Wow, that's crazy. And this was at the time of PlayStation where you couldn't change your name, so having a name like that was very cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It a lot for some reason. Also, a lot of something that went into China has having a cool gamer tag. I don't know. Everyone had a name with. It was I don't know. Someone they made up a bunch of words that I thought was fancy and edgy, and they made it their gamer tag.
Yeah, and then
unfortunately
there was me
by
out there
then
with I'm Not Kimmy and Mr. Piggy.
Yeah, unfortunately by then that was around the time that they also stopped doing transfers.
Yeah, PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. Yeah, they stopped the GTA transfers.
So modded accounts were becoming scarce, so everyone was selling them for stupid prices, which I'm assuming that's one of the reasons you got that barcode for so much money.
Yeah, that was like, I think it was like 2 weeks after they did that, and like I remember you telling me like, holy shit, all these accounts are like now $500 to $400.
Yeah, at the time I was blessed to have more than two. I think I had around 3 accounts.
Yeah.
I had Vape, I had Bull.
And you actually let me use them quite often.
Yeah, I had some other accounts too.
Did you ever let anyone else use your account like that?
No.
So I was a little special. I was a little special boy, huh?
Yeah, I only let you use my accounts because I knew I could trust you with them.
Yeah, I'm not.
But
I would never do that to you, but I would definitely do it to bro. I don't know, man. Would I steal Steve's account again if I had the chance? Like, if I had to go back in time and do it again, would I do it again? Yeah, of course.
Probably.
Probably. That kid's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, I wonder how he's doing. Speaking of, I knew he became really good at Fortnite. He got into the competitive scene. He kept playing after we stopped playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
After that, he got into the competitive scene. He got really good. I think he is a content creator at this point with a decent amount of followers. He uploaded clips and just kept doing it. I think he was doing the same thing as you. When we got into Fortnite, he started getting into the competitive scene for Fortnite, but not for GTA, because he couldn't keep up with GTA. He also got tired of his accounts being stolen, but to be honest, he was really gullible and was letting anyone into them.
He's pretty fucking dumb. The way I got it, I remember this clearly. He was like, dude, I don't know how to use what's that PlayStation editing app called?
Oh, Share Factory.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know how to use Share Factory, dude. How do you use this thing? I was like, oh yeah, I'll just edit them for you. Don't worry about it. Which, if you don't know PlayStation, the video clips that you use are only on, or that you save, are only on your PlayStation. You can't really edit someone's video from, you know, uh,
From another console
from
because
another
it's saved
console.
to that
Yeah.
hard drive.
Mm-hmm. So I just kept on using his account, and he was like, "Okay, did you edit the video?" And I was like, "Yeah. Just give, yeah. I got it. I got you." And then, I got the bright idea to change the password and lock him out, and then change the email.
Yeah, speaking of, I remember I hid this from you guys for the longest. I actually did YouTube. For Grand Theft Auto for the competitive scene. I uploaded some videos and got a decent amount of traction, but I didn't talk about it because I always hid the name in the YouTube video, so no one really knew it was ever me. And then after a decent, I think after around 5,000 subscribers, about like 3 months, 4 months, maybe six, yeah, I'd say about half a year into YouTube, after I got 5,000 subs, I ended up selling it to some guy named Reku.
Yeah.
But GTA was a fun time in my life. If I'm completely honest, I'm also glad I'm past it because GTA, as fun as it was a game, it was also one of the most toxic games, if not the most toxic, one of the most toxic games the community's ever been around with.
Yeah. It's definitely not, uh, especially now.
Yeah.
Like the tryhard scene is not the same as it used to be.
No, going back into Grand Theft Auto, I started playing Grand Theft Auto again after maybe 2 weeks ago. I started playing Grand Theft Auto again, and seeing the new generation of tryhards, they're really not the same as they used to be because they're abusive. I would say they're what we would call wannabe tryhards. OG tryhards, original ones, you don't see them anymore because they're probably doing something better than GTA. But the wannabe tryhards that exist now, what we call them is they abuse certain items in the game that honestly are near damn impossible to defend yourself against, such as the orbital cannon, the oppressors. It's honestly hard to knock someone off a rocket bike flying faster than most jets and has like 3 times the agility of a aircraft.
Yeah. And those RC trucks, there's RC tanks, there's so many things now. Like back when we used to play, there was none of that. There was,
It was unreal.
I think when I first, like when I stopped playing the game, I think they just released the Oppressor Mark II.
Yeah, when we stopped playing, yeah, I think they barely released the Oppressor Mark II, and that was honestly what I would call the downfall because it became the most abusive vehicle in the game, if not the most abusive weapon at all. There's honestly not a weapon like the Oppressor Mark II that could kill somebody. You can knock anybody off with the Oppressor Mark II,
Yeah.
especially when the oppressors are put in the right person's hands. It's honestly, I'd say that they're the most fucking like it's the worst person you want to go up against if they know how to use it.
Right.
Because you can, especially using something the MC Club that lets you spawn these bikes one after the other after the other. If you have a whole arsenal full of these bikes, then you could just keep spawning them and then recall them and then spawn them again. You can't get knocked off of it because they spawn instantaneously.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy to look back and see the new generation. They're just not the same. I don't know if they just seen, other people playing like that, and then we're like, oh, I want to do that.
Well, I believe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be a tryhard because these guys were the tryhards were the best players in the game at the time. I mean, no one could fucking stand up to them. It was honestly kind of abusive the way some of these tryhards would play because they would, pound on players that they know can't take them on. So
Yeah.
that's what they would do. They would sit in lobbies just griefing a player like 30 kills, get 30 kills on them and then leave and then move on to the next kid. Those are the KD warriors that nobody really likes because honestly they were abusive. And at one point, I stood up to these KD warriors. So if I ever saw, some kid getting shit on, a low level or someone that I know clearly can't fucking fight the other player, I would go take on the griefer because I mean, who the fuck wants to play against those people? I mean, they don't let them. Some kid could be delivering cargo, having a good time in a
100%.
glow store, trying to customize a car, man. There comes some fucking dickhead blowing them up for no reason.
Yeah, and I think the only person that ever really did that in our friend group, well, kind of in our friend group, Kiwi. He was KD warrior 100% and still is.
I'd say he still is, man.
Yeah.
We linked up with Kiwi a while ago, and yeah, he would definitely do like he taught me something, and that was the if you when you die, go to the PlayStation Store, you can just hold spawn for I mean stay in the spawning menu for however long you like.
Yeah, which is
And like
very
Kiwi
crazy.
still like that. Yeah, it's very crazy. I didn't know that. I never knew that. And all my time playing, I never knew that was a thing. But I'm assuming that's something that came after me because I thought I knew just about every trick that up the sleeve, and I've been a bad sport multiple times and never knew that.
Yeah, it's I I think you can't even EWO anymore, huh? They got rid of that.
No, they got rid of that to Rockstar took tryhards into their own hands because I guess the new generation of tryhards well not I guess they are they're fucking pieces of shit because they're abusive players that will take just about anybody on.
Yeah.
Well, not I'd say take anybody on because it was honestly a one-sided fight. Bullies, I would call them, because that's what they would do. These people would just be vibing, doing their own thing, customizing cars, like I said earlier. But these guys would go out of their way to shit on players for no reason.
Yeah, and I would you say that like the old generation of tryhards would never do that? Like that was like a unwritten rule not to do that?
No, no, they wouldn't. Yeah,
Like,
it's an unwritten rule. Yeah, like you said,
yeah.
tryhards. The original tryhards, like myself and you, we don't go after low players that we know can't stand up to us, like fight us or any players like that. We don't go after them. We go after people like tryhards, the
Right.
people that actually do. We don't. There's a difference between the new tryhards and the old ones, and that's the difference is that we don't bully. We just don't. We I guess white knights. I guess you could call us like someone like fucking like white knights because we fight the new tryhards. Like we would beef with the new tryhards, the bullies, abusive players,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
new tryhards don't look for fight. I mean, old tryhards, the OG ones, don't look for fights. They come to them. We don't look for fights. We don't beef.
Yeah.
We just let them come to us.
Yeah, and even if like a low level, let's say someone that obviously we could shit on, um was, trying to kill us, we would kill them once and then drive away or something along those lines because it's obviously not a fair fight. Right.
Hmm. We never really fought them. If a low level came up to us, like yesterday, I had some kid chasing me in their car. I was Grand Theft Auto because I'm playing for cause tomorrow the new update releases, and I was driving around. This player was chasing me, trying to shoot me in the car, and they killed me. And I still didn't kill him. And they ended up driving around with me, but ended up chilling. We don't fight them. For us, GTA is all in good fun, but these are people that still take the game super serious.
Yeah.
I mean, the game's not dead, but the game's dead, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. At least the tryhard scene's dead. I would say it's definitely gone downhill. I think it started going downhill a lot when Fortnite first released, which
Yeah,
makes sense.
this
Uh,
Fortnite swallowed up a bunch of the players.
yeah, because they had a new game to try hard on, I guess. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was definitely going downhill before Fortnite, I would say, but that was just the nail in the coffin for the uh old tryhards.
Yeah, it was a nail in the coffin for the old tryhards because they found a new game to, they enjoyed, have fun on. But the ones who remained are, let's so to speak, the OG tryhards started, that scene started dimming down until there was none left. Even now, if you hop into a GTA Online session, you can't tell them apart. Before you could tell apart who's in, before you could tell, pick them apart, and now it's even more, a little bit more obvious who's an experienced player and who's not,
Mhm.
because they don't tryhards, the way they dress stand out,
Yeah.
and the way that the new ones definitely stand out too. You could tell them apart, and especially in the way they play. OG tryhards are honestly just like the people, like the noobs. Honestly, they dress casual. They don't dress, bulletproof helmets. They have those outfits, in case they do end up needing to beef with somebody, but they don't really wear them, like, so to speak. I wear a really simple outfit. It's one, I think you've seen it, right? The white jacket with the shades.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's pretty simple. It doesn't stand out too much.
Yeah. You used to be able to tell them apart on like um if their outfit was really complex and they took a lot of time to make it, or they just threw on any outfit that they thought looked good and threw on a bulletproof helmet, and that's how you could tell them apart.
Yeah, you could tell them apart, and I think it's even more, a little bit more obvious. Well, I wouldn't say actually. That's just the opposite, to tell apart who the real tribes are now, because they're honestly blended in. It's that, or they don't exist anymore, and
Yeah.
the wannabe tribes stand out so much because they dress the way that we used to dress. It's nearly identical copies, except they're a little bit late on catching on.
Yeah, and the style hasn't changed at all. They still wear the exact same outfits we used to, like the black joggers or the black leggings, and like the black turtleneck, and like stuff like that. The white gloves, the white shoes, the black helmet, and like shades or something along those lines, or a chain or whatever.
And I mean, don't get me wrong; those outfits are still pretty clean. They still look really nice, but it's like it's a different era. That time has passed. We're really not with it anymore.
Yeah.
Even then, when I'm fighting somebody, whenever I do end up getting into a beef on GT Online, because it's honestly super rare. I think since I started playing Grand Theft Auto, where I picked it up again, I have not gotten into a fight with the real tryhard.
Like someone that actually gave you a challenge.
Yeah, someone that actually gave me a challenge, but I would get chased by oppressors every. Actually, yeah, you heard me earlier today, man. I ran across about like 3, 4 different oppressors that were chasing me for no reason, and those are besides being the most broken weapon in the game.
Yeah.
These are the wannabe tryhards. So I gave him, he blew me up twice. I was driving around, he blew me up. I didn't do anything to him. Picked up another car, he blew me up again. So I'm like, okay. I bit, I chased, I went. He ran back towards me, and I, shot him off the oppressor. And as soon as these guys get shot off their oppressors, they honestly become next to fucking, not useless, harmless, because that's the only weapon they know in the game. I mean, and if you're honest, that's honestly the only weapon you need to know use of the game, especially if you have an arsenal of them. It's the most broken, has faster missiles than most of the aircrafts. It has way better agility than most of the aircrafts. And aircrafts were supposed to be, anti-oppressors, but the people who could take oppressors on in aircrafts are gone.
Do you think Rockstar planned for like tryhards to die? You think they wanted like them to die?
Yes, I do. I do think that, and that for the reason for that is because people got so tired of griefers. Like I said, there is a margin of tryhards, and the good ones and the bad ones. And people got so tired of the griefers. I'm not gonna call these people tryhards, but griefers. That Rockstar got so many reports that they ended up trying to nullify everything that the tryhard used except the Oppressor. The Oppressor never got a nerf ever, but Ewo, that was one of their biggest strategy or tactics or
Mm-hmm.
abilities, got thrown out. They no longer can hold snacks and do some other stuff. They nerfed the I think the explosion radius on the homing.
Right.
It's they definitely planned for the downfall of tryhards.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting to think about that. I can't think of another instance of a game that, like, especially open world like that, that had so many complaints about people killing them in a in an open game world that they have to take out certain mechanics or certain glitches or whatever so these players can't kill, you know, other players as well.
I I can't think of any other games because I mean sure there's always meta in different games, but the way that Grand Theft Auto was played was you had to be think fast and you had to move really fast and you had to do a bunch of stuff really fast. And and to a certain extent, sorry, I got a drink of the water. To a certain extent, Grand Theft Auto was one of those games that you needed to be on top of your toes, and the margin of the versus good versus bad players was increasing, and that's also when the wannabe tribes caught on. That's when they started like getting a lot of reports because these guys were abusing a lot of the weapons and abusing a lot of the players. And honestly, if I'm completely honest, I don't blame the people who filed these reports because fighting these kinds of people or going against people is really annoying. Because if I'm completely honest, after having like 14,000 hours in the game, a lot of the players just started seeming like copies and mimics of every other player you come up across.
Yeah, and there would always be at least one tryhard in every single lobby that you go into.
Yeah, there would always be it used to be that way, and if it was an OG tryhard or an original one, you would have been, it would have been cool because these guys, like I said, never beef with anybody. But if you got into a lobby with wannabe tryhards, these guys were chaotic little fucking gremlins that would go
Mm-hmm.
after everybody and kill everybody and try to raise their KD the most they could off of griefing other players. And now, yeah, like I said, honestly, I don't blame them for filing those reports. I would have been fucking tired of their shit too if I couldn't fight back against them.
Exactly. Yeah, and also most people go into GTA like for the open world, for to buy cars, level up, get money, buy cool apartments, stuff like that. People don't play the game to do the PvP. It's
Yeah,
it's like a
no,
mechanic. It's like, you know,
yeah, it's definitely an option. Not a lot of people play for the PvP scene. Everyone plays, to do well. Grand Theft Auto is an open world game.
right.
You can do in Grand Theft Auto. I can't think of another game like Grand Theft Auto, even Cyberpunk or Red Dead, that are supposed to be its competitors that can you can do as much as you can in Grand Theft Auto. The options are honestly almost limitless on what you can do in Grand Theft Auto, but these are the players that decide to ruin somebody else's day for no reason. I mean, honestly, for what? I never found the point. I'm a competitive. I used to be a competitive player, and I never found the point of going out of your way just to destroy somebody's cargo, ruin their day, man. I've been in lobbies where some kids, honest, I've heard some kids or people like, hey, can you guys help me defend my cargo or defend this because there's some dude chasing them for no reason. I mean, th- um, and destroying cargo honestly had no profit. There was no gain from destroying someone else's cargo. You've got $2,500 at most, and that's honestly not gonna buy you a fucking T-shirt in the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're just ruining someone else's day because their potential is maybe around $100,000 from delivering this cargo or doing so and so, and you decide to ruin somebody's fucking day for what, $2,500 and 250 XP? Come on.
Yeah. And would you say that, like, when you went up against uh someone that was real, like a real tryhard, there was a mutual respect before and after most of the time?
100%.
I say most of the time because sometimes, those moments where,
Yeah, like L's 101. Yeah, those.
yeah. But
Very
most of the
sexy
time, I would
besides.
say most of the time there is a mutual respect between, uh, no matter who wins.
And no matter who wins, whenever I went up against, so to speak, an OG tryhard, someone who was either on par with me or just was able to keep up, or whatever, there was always a mutual respect. We always said GG, man, or you did great. We'd compliment each other, like, oh man, you're good with this. Oh wow, you really got me with that. There was always a mutual respect. But you would never find that respect in these wannabe tryhards, man. They would always say, oh, Els, or I did this, or I stabbed you fucking 2 million up, or some bullshit.
Yeah, do you want to explain the whole stabbing thing?
The whole stabbing thing, when basically you grab a knife and you perform one of the finishing or execution moves in Grand Theft Auto, and it was hard to do. I guess that's what made it so a great feat, or they would call it 100 up or 200 up or 1 million up or whatever they want to say. Oh, you can never come back from that. That's what it was. Just a hard feat. It wasn't easy to do. Everyone knows knifing somebody, it wasn't that hard. I mean, it wasn't that easy to do, and that's why it became like people boasted about it so much, especially when they killed certain players. I don't know, they killed a YouTuber and they said, "Oh, I knifed this guy. I'm 1,000 up. He can never come back from that." It was honestly more of a, if I'm completely honest, an ego thing.
Right, and it would hurt your image, right? People really did not like when you knife someone. Like I think didn't MB knife you as a joke?
Yeah, I guess I think
But
I
this
think
was like
MB knifed me as a
this was a
joke.
long time ago. This is at least 3.5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, because I was when I was a GTA tryhard, I remained unstabbed, so to speak. Stupid as that sound, I've never been stabbed. I've known whenever I can, it was rare that I would ever come across a loss in any way, like in the PvP scene. I played when I played Grand Theft Auto, I was one of the best of the best. It was rare that I ever came across a loss.
Right. So I think I remember vaguely that didn't you get like really upset with MB when he did stab you?
Yes, I did. I said, because it was like, because MB knew it, Angelo knew it mattered to me, or MB knew it mattered to me.
Yeah.
He, so I'm like, don't do this. Like, come on, bro. Like, so he did it anyways. Like, oh, I fucking did it. It was more the boasting, and I guess also the fact that he did stab me, but it was more like I was also the boasting. He's like, oh, I did this. Oh, like, wow, haha, you fucking, you blow, or some shit. I'm like, okay, dude.
Yeah, and it wasn't even about like him stabbing you. It was just like you told him not to do it and he did it anyways.
Yeah, that's like bouncing right back to what we're talking about, mutual respect. It was just annoying. It was like, seriously,
And I'm pretty sure he did actually clip it.
he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I remember him doing. He clipped it, and I think he sent it to our kick. We used that. We used to use kick, and he sent it to our kick. It's like, oh, I stabbed you, or this and this, or he told about he talked about it between our friend group to other people, like, oh, I stabbed Bull,
Wow, I didn't
and
actually know that. I never knew that actually.
yeah, he'll talk about it. He told Kiwi and Steve, like, oh, I stabbed Bull, and they're like, oh, no way. He's like, here's the clip. I'm like, wow.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I would be really upset too, but you guys didn't talk for like 2 months, maybe 3. I don't remember exactly, but it was a long time.
To me, it wasn't that deep that we didn't talk. He just never reached out.
Yeah, I
He's
think
like
he felt bad.
no, he never reached out. He just like sort of ghosted and went in. I don't know what he went. He still played GTA, but he went to go play with I think it was Kiwi, and then he came back after a while because he didn't like playing with Kiwi and Ethan.
Yeah, and that time was really annoying for me as well, because like I would hang out with you, and then MB would be like, "Oh, yo, you want to play? You wanna link up or whatever?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I'm playing with Bull, bro." And he'd be like, "Oh, never mind," stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Like
Um,
he would
yeah,
like try to pass messages in between, like use middleman as people to deliver some sort of message.
yeah, and he used me most of the time. Like it was pretty
Yeah.
fucking annoying.
Yeah, I remember those times. Yeah, honestly, but it wasn't that deep. He just like sort of ghosted me though.
Yeah, and you would. Yeah, that's exactly what you said back then. You said it's not that deep. I don't really care, but it's just annoying that he did that.
Yeah, but Angelo was more. I think Angelo thought I was gonna boot him offline or hack him or do something, but I honestly wasn't. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a game and it's just gonna be a game. It's not gonna affect me in any way, shape, or form.
Right. Um. So we've been on the GTA topic for a long time, 45 minutes. Do you have any like? I know you have some crazy ass fucking stories.
Oh yeah,
You want to
I have a
tell one
decent
that I haven't heard before?
one that you haven't heard before. Um, shit, kind
Or
of
one that I
bouncing
have. I
into.
don't care.
What do you have? Oh man, so I guess this was one of the. I'm gonna talk about one of my closer, I guess, closer experiences to fucking, biting a bullet.
Yeah.
And this was actually around the time that we were playing Fortnite around the same time. I'm pretty sure you might have known this. I think I got home from school, or I was walking home from school, and some of my friends were over by a car and they were arguing, and I was nothing more than 10 feet away until
I
I see
remember this.
one of my boys started running towards me. He's like, "Yo, what's?" I'm like, "What's good?" And I turn around and see some other dudes chasing him, and the guy in front that's running pulls out a fucking, like, I think it's a Glock 19 or some sort of like a 22 caliber pistol, and starts loading rounds into this guy that's running after him, which the guy was running after him was my friend. And he starts unloading rounds, man. And I'm telling you, while he's running, like, I'm in the maybe 5 feet from the line of fire or so, and I'm outside just like doing my thing. And as the shots ring off, like, you could see the bullets ricochet off of a hit the ricochet off the ground or hit a vehicle.
Did
And
your friend get shot?
yeah, he did get shot. He got shot like 6 times.
Did
But
he survive?
he did actually. Yeah, I went up right when this happened. He chased him all the way up until like the lawn area, and they started like fighting. Except he got shot again like two more times, and he managed to walk back over to I guess where my car was parked, which is in the middle. I'd say in the middle of the field of the parking lot, and he just sort of sat down, like laid down. He was bleeding. He was bleeding a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I ran. That's when I ran upstairs and I grabbed a med kit and I started bandaging him, putting pressure on a bunch of these wounds, and we called the ambulance. The guy, I don't believe the guy was ever caught. I think he fled the state. But as stupid as it sounds, the whole argument. I talked to my friend afterwards, and I actually got pulled into the police station a bunch of times for this. They pulled me out of class, and asked me. They detained me because they thought I was a suspect in this, and they detained me and pulled me out of class and asked me, "We need you to put your hand behind your back," and then pulled me into the office and talked to me and said, you're being detained for this and that. Like, I said, "Fuck, dude," but and I told them the story, and so we don't know who it was, but it was some black kid that ran off. That we don't know him. I never knew him.
Right. And how did that even lead up to that? Like, what was the altercation that led up to that?
So it turns out this kid, the gunman, when they were at the cars talking, there was him, there was my boy, that kid, the gunman, and there was another guy over by a jeep, and there was a girl, and it turns out the girl had actually been dating my friend, but the gunman didn't know they were dating, and it turns out the girl was cheating on my boy with the gunman, and the gunman actually got pressed or confronted, and it led to an argument. And that's as far as I know, where my friend was gonna fight him, but the gunman started running because the gunman was like 5 feet, like 5'6", and my friend was like maybe 6'2". Clearly, the guy wasn't gonna be able to beat my friend in a fight, so he whipped out a gun and started shooting shots in his direction. He clipped him like 6 times.
Wow. That is a crazy story. I'm pretty sure I remember you telling me vague details about it, but I think it was so fresh back then that you didn't want to go into detail about exactly what happened.
It wasn't necessarily. It wasn't. I guess maybe it might have been something related to that because I guess what fucked with me a little bit the most is having like the blood all over my hands. That's what.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't like the. That's why I didn't vibe with the most because I had to bandage this guy up and there's like blood dripping out of like fucking. My man had 6 extra holes in his body, so
Yeah, and you
I
probably
tried
were
bandaging them all.
you're probably you're your mind was probably racing with like, oh my god, please don't die, like.
Yeah, I was 100% thinking that because I honestly thought he was. If you see somebody with 6 shots in their body, you think they're gonna die. I'm trying to plug one hole in bandages, but at the same time, around the same time I was doing ROTC, so they taught me how to bandage wounds. So I was like trying to not to plug the holes and create hemorrhages in his body, so he could die because he would die from internal bleeding. So I was just trying to bandage him and apply pressure until the ambulance got there. But what fucked with me the most was honestly just seeing all this blood all over my hands because I've experienced with like I guess death before because I used to be involved in gangs when I was in middle school because I used to be a little runner boy.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never had to personally have to deal with someone bleeding out before, and that's what really fucked me because there was all blood all over my hands, and I was freaking out, and I went back upstairs, and my mom and my sister saw me with there's all this blood on me, and they freaked out. I guess that's what really fucked with me the most.
Yeah, and it must be difficult to still deal with that. Probably, I would think, at least. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if you had some sort of PTSD or some sort of that from that.
So about that, honestly, I wouldn't say I would have. I don't think I have PTSD about that because he's fine, and I've it's honestly like getting used to death exists. People, there are good people, there are bad people. Shit happens in life. Of course, I don't want it to ever happen, right? Nobody ever wants that shit to
Right.
happen to them. But the PTSD, not so much, because but you have to focus on the good. I have to focus on, he's alive, he's good, he's in college right now, so good for him. He's still alive and kicking. He has a girlfriend, as far as I know. I'm not sure if they're still together, but you have to focus on the positives. What's good. That's why I think I don't have PTSD because
Yeah.
you have to appreciate the things but it really was a kicker into I really after that after moments like those you really take the saying that you don't know what you have in life until it's gone because in a matter of seconds it's gone.
Right.
So it did teach me to appreciate things a little bit more because I could have been shot. Like the bullet could have, he could have had, he was running and shooting. He was running forward and shooting backwards. So I could have been going away with one of those shots. So thankfully I wasn't. But it just teaches you, to be appreciate things in life a little bit more.
Yeah. It's I guess I'm just a little pussy suburban boy. I just never have. uh, I mean, I've definitely had things that changed me, but nothing to that extreme.
No, I think I think what fucks in my head the most is not being able to control the situation because makes you feel defenseless and useless, right?
Right.
Um, so this is like different story. Going off of that, where I felt like I freaked out because I didn't know what happened in the past like 11 or 12 hours. I was in this was my senior year of high school. I'm pretty sure I haven't told you this. I was in my senior year of high school, and there was this girl named Judy that was trying to hang out with me, but I always said no. And she happened to share the same math class as my stepbrother Uriel and one of my best friends Brian. So, and I was on my way to my sixth period, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna stop by." So I stopped by and I said, "Hey, what's up?" to my boys, and Judy came up to me and said, "Try talking to me." And so I talked. I'm not gonna be impolite. I'm not gonna be a dick and say, fuck, get the fuck away from me." So I talked to her and I said, "Hey, what's good?" And we talked. She said, "Oh, do you want some candy?" And I said, My boys and my Brian looked at me and said, "Nah, don't do it, dude." What I didn't know about this girl Judy is that she also did drugs. So I didn't know she gave me this candy that was a butterscotch, and I wrapped it and threw it in my mouth. And Yuri and Brian looked at each other and said, "Fuck." Um, What I didn't know about that
So you
butterscotch
took
was,
it.
I
You
took it.
ate
Yeah,
it.
I ate it. Yeah. So I didn't know what it was, but little to me, I after my sixth period, I told my teacher I was going to go to class, until I was going to go to the library, and that's as much as I remember. Turns out that candy was a roofie.
You passed
So
out?
yeah, I passed out. Like a lot of that memories of days.
Did she
All
get
that my
charged
friends,
for that?
she actually didn't, because there's nothing to go off of,
Right.
except that I know that, except what I've been told. What happened? What my Yuri tells me is that he came to the library to get me, and Judy was at the library with me, and she told Judy told Yuri that I was gonna go hang out with Judy after class, and I mean after school. So Yuri's like, oh okay, maybe he's finally gonna give her a chance. That's what Yuri told me. And then after we left school, my friends and my friends didn't know anything like of me. They didn't know what happened. Like they don't know where I was. I didn't answer my phone or anything. But the only thing I do know is that I woke up at my house, in my bedroom, bro, like completely fucking naked. And I don't have any. And it was like fucking 10 at night, and I don't have any memory of what happened in between. Was it 1 in the afternoon and 10?
Jesus Christ. So you were you were basically R word.
Yeah, I could have. I don't know though.
Jesus Christ. Like that
Not.
is insane. That must like that's insane, bro. It honestly, what would be going through my head if that happened? Like, what the fuck happened to me? Like, she could have done anything with me, you know? Like,
Yeah, I freaked out because like I said, I had no knowledge of what happened. Nobody knows what happened. All I know is that
how the fuck did she carry you? You were just out of it so much that she was just able to. I mean, I would think you were just out of it so much that like she was able to just like basically
just
walk you.
just walk me. Yeah, just walk me. Because I've been around drugs, a bunch of drugs. I've been around almost just about any drug you can name. I've seen people on them. I've seen people use them. I've seen them in person, and you can honestly just walk somebody away because it's like they're drunk or off Zans. And when someone's off Zans, they're just slumped. They're so out of it. They're like puppets. You're the one with the strings.
Right. Man.
But your body's still completely functional. You can still move around. You can still do stuff. You just completely lose. Like I lost knowledge. I lost recollection of what happened, and that's as much as I can say because I don't know what happened
So you
between those
could have had
9 or 10 hours.
intercourse with her without knowing.
Yeah, I could have.
Because I would think you could still, get it up per se in that state, I would feel like
Well,
with that
yeah.
memory.
If you put you're still conscious, so to speak. You can still send blood down to your penis. You can still get an erection.
Right.
So yeah, the the option of me being so to speak R word is still there because like I said, I don't have any recollection of what happened. I just don't know anything.
Yeah. That is a fucking crazy story. So, we got pretty deep, in this podcast. Do you want to wrap it up with a happy story or something, pretty more
Dude, I got you.
lighthearted?
I got you.
You
I
got
got
me, you
you.
got
I
me.
got you. I
Bet,
got you.
bet.
I got you. So this was around the time I got you the good story, bro. I thought this is like this is like one of the P Hub ads that come true.
Mhm.
Fucking Lisa's a hot milf and she's like 5 hours away, 5 miles away. And she was a fuck. So I was on I forgot. I was like this is like I was a horn dog. I was a playboy. So I was like a fucking rabbit in heat, bro. I was humping. Um and I this milf hit me up. I'm like, okay, this has got to be an ad. So I'm like, I'll bite. And this girl named I forgot her name. I think it's like Mary Ann or Mary Kay. I still have her phone number I still have her phone number in this one. I still have her conversations. And she's like, oh, like she's like, I'm a cougar or something, I'm like, looking for, was it, she called me a bull or something, like an actual bull. She's like a young bull or some shit.
Wow,
To
that's ironic. That's funny.
Yeah, she's like, I'm looking for young bulls. I'm like, okay, Lisa. Oh, I'll bite. He's like, yeah, you want to come over? So we talked like after about 2, 3 days because I was busy with work, so I wasn't able to hang out. It's like, hey, you wanna hang out? I'm like, fuck it, dude, for sure. And I was honest. She gave me an address, dude. She gave me a place and a time. Like, I'm 100% gonna get fucking murdered.
Right.
If someone stuffs me on the meat locker tonight and harvests all my organs, dude, I'm honestly not gonna be surprised. And I was honestly pretty sketched out because there's no way this MILF Lisa wants to hang out and get down and freaky. You know what I mean, dog? So I'm like, okay. And I tell Yuri, I'm like, hey, bro, I'm gonna be at this location. I'm in location on, bruh. I have Life 360 on with Yuri. Like, hey, bro, I'm gonna be over here, man. Like, check me out if I move or if I don't hit you up and my location moves. I'm in a horror movie right now. They kidnap me, some shit, something like that. And I get to the crib, man, and some guy opens up the door. I'm like, I'm so fucked. Some Bill Gates looking guy. He opens up the door. I'm like, I'm so fucked. He's like, hey, come in. You looking for, like, I'm gonna call her Mary Ann, Mary Kay for now. I'm calling her Mary. And she's like, oh, you're looking for Mary? She's right upstairs. Let me walk you over to the living room. He's like, you want a glass of wine? I'm like,
Wait, is it a
I'm not sure,
cuck?
dude. It was a cuck. Yeah, it was a cuck.
Oh my god. Did he? No, don't tell me he watched.
Did he watch? But
I'm
let me
fucking
get into that.
speechless.
Let me get into that. So I was like, oh, you want a glass of wine? He's like, get comfy. She'll be down there, and she'll be down here soon. And she's like, she's just changing into something comfortable. I'm like, oh. So when I see the guys there, I'm like, oh, are you the husband or something? And he's like, yeah, I'm the husband. He's like some old guy. He's like the guy's got to be like 70, 80 at least.
Right.
And I'm just, chilling there. I'm like, I feel so awkward, man, because I had to sit there, and the guy was like, "No, don't worry about me. I'm not gonna really get into it, but I'm just gonna watch." I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna watch?" So right then and there, dude, I'm gonna be honest, man. I got something called performance anxiety. Like, bro, I gotta be able to perform, bro. Some guy's gonna be watching me. He's like, "What if I end up some fucking site somewhere?" I'm like, I honestly wouldn't put it past me if I'm on some fucking site somewhere on the hub,
Mhm.
on some sort of some sort of video of me getting down with this MILF, man. This lady comes out. She's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, we had to make a lot of space. My daughter's out for the weekend. My daughter's out for the weekend. I'm like, what do you mean you have daughters? She's like, yeah, they're like 20, 25. I'm like, what the fuck? She has daughters older than me. She's asking me to come over, bro. She's like, we had to make some space and arrangements. It's like, yeah, our daughters are out for college. They just left. They're gone for the weekend. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Like, there's no way. And this lady comes down, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. She was a MILF. She was a MILF, dude. She had the assets, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And she asked me, "Oh, get comfortable. What are you shy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty fucking shy, dude. I'm pretty shy. I'm pretty shy right now." Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I thought this was like one of those one of those P-Hub P-Hub ads that I thought I was about to get harvested. She's like, "Oh wow, you're funny," and she starts getting little feisty with me, yeah. And I shit you not, dude. She's like, get comfortable, get undressed. I'm like, so I get undressed, and as I'm getting undressed, this guy's just looking at me, bro. He's just looking at me. He's just looking at me get undressed. I'm like, bro. So I just like move over to the left, man, like where I'm hiding. Like, she has like these plants in her house, like over by the couch. And so I hide behind this like fucking 3 inch thick plant, bro. The guy like changing, like getting naked. And this guy's just looking at me, bro. He's just staring at me the whole time. And he's like, sit down, get comfortable. So I'm like sitting on that leather couch, bro, butt ass naked. And this guy's just like staring at me, looking at me and her, bro. He's like panning between us. So I'm like, this must be a test, bro. And this guy's gonna flip out some second, dude. He's gonna fucking try to smack me and bust a hip bone. And this guy's like, he undresses too, and he just looks at me, and he starts, rubbing his meat, bro. Like
Oh
I'm
my
not,
god.
shit you not, bro. He's just rubbing his meat, bro. Like this lady's just sitting next to me, like caressing me and shit, and he's just like rubbing his meat, bro. I'm like, there's no way this is actually happening, bro.
Oh my
And
god.
uh, this dude, you know what the gross? No, this is the grossest detail. This guy, right? She gets she gets, she just goes down on me, fucking, preparation, like for a little foreplay, a little ahead before we actually get started. And right as she like goes down on me, bro, this guy lets. Hey, have you ever seen The Office?
Yeah.
Remember when Kevin Malone goes, "Oh yeah,"
I think so. Hold on, let me look it up.
this guy, yeah, this guy goes from sounding like a jolly old Santa, bro, to letting out the deepest, "Oh yeah." Right as she like goes down on me, I'm like, bro, I cannot, bro. Like for the first like, I'm not gonna lie, for the first like 3 minutes or so, I struggled on getting my shit up and running, dog.
I would think so. It's pretty fucking hard when some old guy was he packing? That's the real
He
question.
was no, he was not packing. He's not
Makes sense.
packing. He looks like he looked like a slurp mushroom from Fortnite.
Oh my god. Wait, so you guys just had you didn't even go up to the bedroom. You just did it on the couch.
That's what his house just that's how it started. But then she like unfolded this and it was like a sofa couch.
Okay, okay.
I mean a sofa bed or
Yeah.
a couch bed. I don't know what they're called, but she pulled it out and I'm starting to go down. And he's like, no, I want to do it. I want to do it, bro. Like after look before I was already in there, in that in that spot, like little. I was in that little the private part. I was in there
The
already.
gooch.
Yeah, I was in the gooch, bro. I was already inside the gooch, like two strokes in, and I already like ate her out before that. And the guy's like, no, I want to eat her out, bro. I want to eat her out. I'm like, oh my god, dude, there's no fucking way. You really, I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, there's no fucking way. You're not gonna do it. You're not actually not serious, dude. And after my thing has already, my peen has already been in there, dude. He starts eating that thing up.
Oh my god. The
I'm
hell?
like, these guys are freaks. Like, there's no fucking
How the
way,
hell did
dude.
you finish after that?
It was really awkward, but it was like it was one of those moments where I'm like, I'm in too deep. I'm in way too deep.
Can't back
There's
out
like
now.
I can't back out. And I have to go through with this. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm
Right.
in some I'm in some big ass house, dude. I'm sorry. This house was nice, by the way, like really nice. I'm in some big ass house. I'm probably gonna get lost trying to get out of there. And she hits me with you ready? It was honestly like hands down one of the best experiences I've ever had. Hitting a MILF because I don't know what it was about it. It was like an achievement,
Right.
but it was also one of the most awkward experiences ever because it was pretty awkward. I'm not gonna lie, man. She's a MILF. She's a nurse at the hospital where my sister was born.
Oh my. So have you ran it back into her or no?
Thankfully not, or un, unfortunately not. I don't know, bro. I'm mixed feelings about this.
That's
But
a that's crazy.
yeah, no, I have some weird stories like that, man. When I worked at a retail store, I don't know what it is about my appearance, or maybe I look like an e-boy. I don't know if that's it. But I had a couple. I don't know if I give off some sort of fucking freaky vibe or some bullshit. I really don't know what it is, dude. But I've had a couple come up to me at my old work spot, at my old workplace, come up to me and say, "Hey, uh, do you wanna get down? We're swingers." I'm like, "What do you mean y'all swingers, bro?" She's like, "Yeah, dude." I'm like, "You wanna do you wanna go down on my?" Some guy came up to me. He's like, "Do you wanna go down on my wife while I watch?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, I'm good,
Dude,
dude.
you're a
I'm
fucking you're a cuck magnet.
I don't know what the fuck it was about it.
Jesus. All right, I think that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Honestly, that was that. You have some fucking crazy stories, bro.
Yeah, I have a lot to share.
Holy fuck. We might have to do another one. I don't know.
For
Yeah.
sure.
So that's gonna be the end of this podcast. Thanks for listening. If you did, wow, this is fucking crazy. All right, see you guys. Maybe next time. I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna be a reoccurring thing. I'm not sure. See ya.